Welcome to JewishTV.media. Today's topic is love. There once was a gentleman who was not Jewish, but he lived in the Holy Land of Israel 2,000 years ago. It's a long time, 2,000 years. And he saw the Jewish people, and he was fascinated by their culture, by their tradition, by their values, by their way of life. So he decided, guess what? I'm going to become Jewish. I'm going to convert. I'll become one of them. And he heard that there was a great sage by the name of Shammai. And he said he's going to go to Shammai and he's going to ask him to convert. But he was very impatient, this gentleman. We can call him Jack. I'm not sure any of the people in those days had a name like Jack. Jack is a modern English name, but doesn't matter. For the sake of the story, we'll call him Jack. And Jack comes along to the famous, world-renowned rabbi by the name of Shammai. And he comes to Shammai and he gets an appointment. And Shammai's a very busy man. It takes him a while to get an appointment and have a time to see him, but he makes that time and he comes and sees him. And he says to Shammai, he says, you know what, I love the Jewish people, I love the tradition, I love the heritage, I love the customs, and I want to become a Jew. But I'm impatient. I couldn't be bothered taking a long time doing it. I want you just to teach me the whole Torah while I'm standing on one foot. I'm going to stand on one foot, and I want you to teach me the whole Torah. And by the time you're done, I'll know the whole Torah, and then we'll be able to go ahead and I'll convert. And Shammai thought this guy's a bit of a nutter. I mean, the whole Torah on one foot. Does he realize that the Torah is long? I mean, it takes us a whole year to read the Torah, and we do every week in the synagogue, we do one portion, and it takes us a whole year to get through the whole thing. What's he going to do, stand there for a year? I mean, it's ridiculous. And that's just the Torah. There's a written law. Forget the oral law and forget the traditions and forget the laws and standing on one foot. What a chutzpah. You know what chutzpah means? If you don't know what chutzpah means, Google it. Anyway, what a chutzpah. And what a nerve, what a cheek. And he takes a big rod and he chases this man, Jack, out of his house. He says, don't come, get out of here. What type of disrespect is that to the Holy Torah? What type of disrespect is that to the Jewish religion? What do you think we've lasted for so long based on something that I can teach you on one foot? Get out of here. And Jack leaves. And he's not going to give up, Jack. He was a pretty persistent man, and he heard around the traps that there was another great sage, another great Jewish rabbi by the name of Hillel. And he thought, you know what, Shammai doesn't want to help me, I'll go to Hillel. Goes through the same process, makes an appointment, comes to see him. The day comes to Hillel, and he tells Hillel the whole spiel about how he loves the Jewish people. And then he says the same thing, I want you to teach me the whole Torah while I'm standing on one foot. Now let me ask you, if you don't know the end of the story, a lot of people know the end of the story, but if you don't know the end of the story, what do you think happens next? Does Hillel take out a rod and chase Jack out of the house? No. Hillel smiles calmly and looks at Jack and says the following words: don't do to others what you wouldn't like done to yourself. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Now go learn. And Jack was surprised. Wow. All in one sentence. That's it. And Hillel says, yep, that's it. Don't do to others what you wouldn't like done to yourself. Treat others the same way you would like to be treated. Love others like you love yourself. That is the core, the essence of the whole Torah. And the rest is commentary. Now, what happened next, and who Jack went to teach him the rest for the commentary, and how his conversion went, we don't know. We know that part of the story. We don't know what happens next. But for the sake of today's topic of love, it's not relevant what happens next. What's relevant is this important message, these words that Hillel told Jack. And those words were that the essence of the whole Torah, the core of it all, is to love others like you love yourself. As Rabbi Akiva, another great sage, said, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," love your fellow as yourself. Zeh klal gadol v'Torah. This is a great lesson. This is a great foundation. This is a great rule of the Torah. This is the core, the essence of it all. Now the Alter Rebbe in the book of Tanya, and you can have a look at it. It's a wonderful book. It's the foundational book of Hasidus. Chapter 32, which is also the chapter called Lev, heart, speaks and explains spiritually, mystically, why is loving someone else as yourself the core of the whole Torah? And the answer he gives is because when you love someone as yourself, you are recognizing that what you really love about them is not their body, it's their soul. Because bodies change. A person can be beautiful and then lose their beauty. A person can have money and then lose their money. Physical things change. But the spirit, the soul, the core, the essence of someone, when you love their spirit, their soul, that lasts forever. That's true love. Because that's not something that can change. A person's soul is there, is a spark of God which is, was, and always will be. And so what the Alter Rebbe teaches us in Tanya, chapter 32, is that the real secret that Hillel was teaching Jack was, when you love someone as yourself, you're actually recognizing their soul, you're recognizing the spirit. And when you recognize the spirit, and when you're recognizing the presence of God, and when you're recognizing the fact that this world is not just about the physical, but it's really about the spiritual. People, their real essence is not the physical body, but their soul. The world, its real essence is not just its physical manifestation, but the soul of the world, the spirit behind the world, the presence of God. Then our life can be a holy life. Then our life can be a godly life. And then we can have true love, not just to others, but to everything and everyone that we come into contact with. Thank you for watching JewishTV.media.
JewishTV.media